Next time you mention, I'm just walking right out.
That's curious.
3, 1, Freddie's Land. Reach out. As Freddie and I sit in our houses, I assume, you guys are on this like epic road trip. No, you're not. You guys are in some weird hotel room that I don't even want to comment on anymore.
What are you talking about? This is Ben's house.
Yeah.
Can't you tell this is Ben's living room that we're sitting in right now?
Leah Charles would be the first one to screw that pooch. Sorry. The advanced collective just. Sorry, guys.
Whoops. In any case,
it's okay. If you want to talk about it, we're not worried about it. It's okay.
Okay. The voice of God has spoken, and we can talk about it.
So where are you guys right now?
Right now we are in a town called Seaside, Oregon, which is aptly named because it's right next to the Pacific Ocean. Yeah, it's really pretty.
Is that how it got its name?
I think that might have had something to do with it. They should have called it Oceanside.
It's not a family name like John Seaside or something?
Everything is just ocean themed. It actually gets annoying after a while. What
have you been working on for the last 2 months? Like I've been sort of holed up in my garage, but that's normal for me. So I've been doing the Bentley. Another Audi project that I've done was the Audi R8 that my friend Eric needed a engine on. So we put it in a brand new long block, and that was really cool. And I'm about to start working on my McLaren and doing a bunch of other stuff. But you guys, like, what have you been up to?
I don't even know what to say. I've been working on an R8, I've been working on a Bentley, and I've been working on my McLaren. And here's me like, I got a GTI that I've been working on.
I got a Honda Civic I've been working on.
You basically just ended the conversation like right there with the starter. It's like, well, I guess I technically also own cars, but they're not worth talking about at this point.
Come on.
I spent an hour and 15 minutes changing the oil on an Evo 10 yesterday. Does that count?
That does count.
Of course. Yeah, that's awesome.
It was not awesome.
To be fair, to Ben's credit, the car has aero all over it, so you've got to take the splitter off and all that. But
I actually, this is relevant. I did it in an advanced parking lot. You'll see the video of it. I asked the manager on duty, I was like, is it okay if we do an oil change in your parking lot? And she was like, yeah, that's fine. She's like, just don't make a mess. And I was like, oh, don't worry. I was like, just sell me an oil pan and I'll be fine. So she sold me an oil pan, and I'm trying to get this splitter off, and the splitter goes all the way like back to the firewall basically. So I'm trying to figure out how the owner has the splitter set up, and I get it almost all the way off, but I can't actually remove it. So, and I'm literally on a timer. Like I'm trying to get this done as quickly as possible. So the splitter's like, the car's like here, the splitter's sitting at an angle like that. So I'm like, that's okay. I can fit an oil pan in there, and I'll just like remove the drain bolt and just like hold it. So the oil starts coming out, and I'm like, okay, we're fine. Except that this has it has a larger oil pan with baffling, so it holds 6.5 quarts of oil. So this tiny little pan, first of all, does not hold 6.5 quarts of oil. And by the time it has like 4 quarts in it, the pan is just like drooping, and I'm just pouring oil on the grounds. Like it's like, like the BP disaster or something like that.
And that's why we don't work on cars.
I'm just like pouring oil all over the ground in advance that this nice manager had told me that I could use her parking lot in. And I'm just like running in and like buying paper towels and like soaking up and stuff.
She's like, hey, why are you buying all those shop towels? Like, no reason, don't worry. Don't worry, it's okay. Nothing happened.
I'm like, do you guys have any like anything to soak up oil? And they're like, no, we don't. And I'm like, okay, do you know if there's a PetSmart nearby? Yeah.
Well, that sounds like quite the epic oil change. Any battle wounds though? Like you came out unscathed, I hope?
I was laying on concrete, so I probably scratched myself up, but I don't think that counts.
Yeah, so just for some context, the reason he was trying to hurry, we were doing like a race, not like a cannonball break the speed limits. We were all doing everything very legally, but we were 6 hours from the coast, and I'm in a Tesla right now, a P85, which has to stop and charge every like 150 miles, give or take. So we were curious to see which car would make it to the coast first. Ben with the Evo after doing an oil change, so he had to. The timer started right when he started his oil change, and then I left. So then to see if he could reel
So you
me
just
in.
left him behind. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That was the worst oil change I've ever done in my life. You should have been with me when I was swearing so much. I was so upset, like so angry. It was just the worst. Yeah.
Well, a good race would have been an oil change for you and then a coolant change for the Tesla.
No, I'm good. I'm too scared to mess with that.
Freddie, have you worked on Teslas before?
I have not. I've actually been in the Tesla that you guys have at SEMA with Rich. So you guys are using Dolores, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that car is actually really, really nice. I'm glad that he got supercharging put back on in many legal ways.
This trip would literally not have been. I guess it would have been possible without it, but it would have taken like 3 months.
I'm trying to even imagine.
Yeah, I mean, so the supercharging. I have stopped at a non-supercharging station on this trip once, and it takes like 4 times longer, and that was still a very fast charger. The regular EV chargers that are not Tesla superchargers generally are like 6 times slower than the Tesla superchargers. So that you'd have to sit for like 6 hours minimum at any non-Tesla supercharger to get a charge out of it.
Yeah, but you're driving the future though, so it's worth it.
You got to do that every 150 miles, you said?
Yeah, the actual range of this Tesla, I mean, it's an 8-year-old car, so the actual range is probably 200 if you squeeze it from 100% to 0, but you obviously don't want to do that because if you run out of battery, you can't just go get a gas can. So I've been running it about 150 miles between stretches, which is only like 2 hours. Then I'll stop and charge. I don't charge all the way because once it gets near the top of the battery, it slows down so that I guess the battery won't explode. So I've been charging it to like 70% and then going on. And that only takes about 30 minutes or so on a supercharger, which is not bad.
Wow. How have you found it is to find those stations kind of, because you guys are traveling coast to coast, right? In some of those more rural areas, how has it been finding those charging spots?
Don't find one, you can always plug into an outlet. So there's still a backup, although that would take 3 full days to charge on a regular outlet. But there's
oh yeah, they will.
Yeah, there's like 16,000 superchargers all over the world, which is quite a lot. So, I mean, as the infrastructure keeps growing, if this is truly the future, it'll turn into, as popular as gas stations, and they'll be everywhere, and you don't have to worry about trying to hunt them out on an app.
So here's what you do. So here's the move, the power move if you're trying to do a road trip with the Tesla. You put a tow hitch on it, which I believe Rich already has. So you put a tow hitch, and then you just have a diesel generator running 24/7 back there, just making electricity. So I don't know how physics works, but I assume that is basically a perpetual motion machine.
Yeah, I don't know if that would be the most efficient way to do that, but I thought about bringing a generator as like a backup in case it broke down or something, but it would charge so slowly.
If you want
So, like right now, a lot of people are just at home, not really driving much, right? So what are the things like, I mean, you guys, you are obviously not at home, you're in a hotel room, but like what would you do to your cars back home to kind of make them not break when you want to drive them, because cars actually need to be driven?
Yeah, cars are like living organisms, and if they sit for a while, I had a vehicle anyway, I just sold it, but it has E85 in it, and if E85 sits in the fuel system, it's not great for it. So yeah, it's definitely good to just start it up every now and then, if anything. Oil can degrade, as far as I know, just sitting as well. Moisture and the brake fluid, things like that.
Yeah, I'm actually thinking about,
especially when it's in an advanced parking lot. It can degrade pretty good. If it's just spilled on the asphalt. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's not the preferred method of most people to change their oil, but good on you, man. I would have been like, nah, I don't think I'm doing this here today.
I always wondered why Advanced sells oil pans, because I always just dump it straight onto the ground. You know what I mean? Just take the drain plug.
Make sure your car goes up though, so it can all get out, right?
Yeah. I just park it on a hill, and then there's a stream, like a body of water at the bottom, and I just let it go.
Put a disclaimer at the bottom of this, please. Please
Yeah,
do
yeah.
not.
This is not actual car advice. Like we are joking. This is we're being facetious.